One of the hardest men I met in prison. All right, guys, let's kick this yarn off. Before I do, but I just want to say this. I'm not going to drop his name. I don't drop names. But in saying that, if you listen to this yarn and do your homework, it won't be too hard to figure out. All right, so let's get it. Fuck, when I met him, I was about 25, 26. I was doing my first big adult sentence. He'd already had 33 years up his belt, so he'd already done 33 years prison on a few knocks. He was a contract killer. So, he used to take contracts for jobs and get rid of people. That's what he did. He was pushing 60 plus when I met him. He was getting on. So he was an old head. He'd been around a bit. He's dead now, rest in peace. But he was getting on. I ended up living with him. So I lived with him, and he come home one day and he fucking was angry as he used to. Yeah, mate, he used to, when he got angry, he would spit poison, True. And he come home one day and he's like, these fucking cunts, they think I'm a fucking goose, Gaz. I said, what's the matter? He goes, he was working out, he had a job up the kitchen at the time. He goes, these fucks up the kitchen. He goes, they think I'm a fucking dickhead, don't they? He goes, I'll go to the fucking tool shed. He goes, I'll grab a fucking hammer. He goes, I'll go back up there, I'll fucking cave their skulls in, turn them into a fucking retard. He goes, fuck these cunts. He goes, I'll grab their fucking head and dip it in the deep fryer. Fuck them. He used to go off, and I said, all right, sweet. Would you like me to make you a coffee? Fuck these cunts. He'd go, fucking angry old bastard he was. Anyways, we used to have yarns all the time, living with him, he used to have some stories and that. And I remember he told me one time he sat down with me, and I remember he says to me, he goes, how bad are you, kid? And I thought at that time I was pretty bad, I hadn't learnt life the hard way, hadn't learnt my lessons the hard way yet. And he goes, how bad are you? I said, oh, yeah. And he goes, so if you're, and he says how he fucking ran it by me. And it still sticks with me to today, It's like one of those things that hold weight. And he goes, if you're at a fucking nightclub or a pub, he goes, and you're getting a fucking punch on. And he goes, and I reckon he was planting a seed, because I was still going home about to run amok, and it still sits with me today. Anyway, he goes, you're getting a punch on. He goes, and one of your mates fucking, stab some cunt in the neck with a broken bottle. He goes, are you prepared to do the time? He goes, you knew nothing about the fight. He goes, you're just in a blue. He goes, one of your mates end up fucking stabbing someone, kills them. He goes, and then you've got to go along with it, He goes, you ready to do that time? He goes, how bad are you? And at that time, I was like, yeah. But now I know exactly what he was saying to me. 100%. He was trying to give me a hot tip of how quick it can all go sour, And, another thing he said to me was, this is pretty crazy. So one of the jobs that he did, so he was at a house, and this is how he ran it by me, and there was a fucking kid on the couch, would have been 18, 19, 20, young bloke he was. And he had a couple coming over that obviously he had a hit on, They were coming over. He said he was obviously plotting on how it was going to go down in his own head, and he said to the young bloke on the couch, he goes, how about it's time for you to go? And the kid took off. An hour later, a couple come over, he knocks them both and buries them under the barbecue at the back. Ended up getting pinched for that. And he spoke to the kid later years on. He spoke to the kid, and the kid said, thank you, thanked him so much. He goes, thank you, man. Like, you fucking, mate, you changed my life. Like that day, he goes, it could have went either way, and you let me go. Thank you so much, man. He shook his hand and really appreciated that he gave him another chance at life. And apparently that kid really got time to stop and smell the roses after that, because, if you know, he was very, very close to being buried out the back with the other two, Old mate would have been walking around in his own head thinking, should I let him go? Should I do him? Should I let him go? Should I do him? And it was a risk letting him go, obviously, but he ended up letting him go. It wasn't his time. And old mate didn't want him to meet his maker yet. So he just fucking chose to do the 2 and not the 3. And he let the kid go, and fucking apparently the kid caught up with him and thanked him for that years later, man, but fucking true story, And when he said that, like, it's fucking crazy, man. And that, you don't meet people, or they're not built like that anymore. Do you know? Just a bad cunt, just a bad old cunt. Well, that's the impression he had on me, and I lived with him for a while. He was the real deal. Fuck, man, I can only imagine him in his day. He had hands on him like fucking sledgehammers. True story. Yeah, man, I heard he had a serious king on him. Like, I'd never seen him. I'd only seen him get angry. I'd never seen him react on it. But he used to just spit venom. But yeah, I'd heard heaps of stories, man. When he clipped someone on the chin, it was lights out, you know. He was a bad old cunt. But yeah, man, true story. Fucking oath. Rest in peace, and rest in peace to everybody else in the story too. All right, guys. See you, bye.